Hi, this is Starkey Sowers. Welcome again to another Plus Program training series. Today's topic, essential oils, and this is part one. You might have actually seen essential oils around a lot. Maybe we went to like one of the stores in the mall and they're talking about essential oils, or maybe you went into a health food store and you might be wondering, what are essential oils? Well, today we're going to definitely try to help you get a little bit more familiar with them. So when we look at essential oils, they are just that. They are the essence, so to speak, of the plant. And so think about all the active components that are in a plant that actually have medicinal values. Ultimately, those medicinal values or those active components are found in all different areas of the plant. They're found in the leaves, they're found in the flowers, they're found in the stems and the bark, they're found in the roots. And you might be thinking, that sounds a little crazy. But let's think about this real quickly. Think about peppermint or think about lavender. Think about peppermint and lavender, very strong smells. Peppermint tea is great for digestion. Green tea's got a great scent to it. Those leaves definitely have those essential oils, and those essential oils have healing properties for our bodies. All right, so let's think about a bark. Think about cinnamon. Look at cinnamon, very strong, great for digestion. At the same time, blood sugar, all these wonderful things, and the essential oils themselves are one of the components that makes cinnamon so effective. Same thing, let's look at a root. So think of ginger root. Ginger root's got all sorts of components in it. In fact, it has 487 known active compounds. Although there's a lot of essential oils that are in there. And of course, it's what gives us our pungent flavor, taste, digestion, anti-nauseousness. All those particular factors come from the ginger root itself. So it kind of gives you an idea where they come from. Ultimately, when we think about that, there's a lot of different arrays. So then you also might be thinking, well, how do we get the essential oils out of it? How do we get those active compounds? So when we look at a couple different methods, we want to maybe analyze them. First of all, you can use a chemical extraction process. And this is typically used by individuals that are trying to get some active components out. They might be using it for perfumes or things of that nature. Well, that's going to be a little bit different. We don't want to use the chemical extraction process. The reason why there's leftover different types of alcohols or maybe benzenes or things of that nature that are very toxic to the body. So the best way to get essential oils is what we call water or steam distillation process. What it does is gives us the pure essential oils, and at the same time leaves us no toxic waste behind that we're trying to let our body muddle out of the system. All right, so with that said, how do essential oils work in the body? Well, when we look at them, they're very unique. They have three dominant effects on the body. And mind you, one of the number one ways to use it is through inhalation, maybe smelling it directly. You might put on a handkerchief or something of that nature. But then we also have a tendency to use them topically. And so in part number two, we talk about how to use them topically. So we'll give you a little bit of details on that. So one of the things we do when we want to look at it, though, is see what the effects are. So first of all, we have what we call the direct effect on the olfactory centers. So the olfactory centers are, of course, the taste and the smell receptors throughout the whole nasal cavity. And those are actually what we call the chemoreceptor areas. And they actually receive the chemical components that are in the essential oils. So what happens next is what we call the stimulatory effect. And it stimulates the nervous system. So there's a direct effect on the limbic system. And the limbic system is the nervous system that kind of takes it from the brain, so to speak, to the rest of the body. So that's what we call the indirect effect, which comes after the stimulation effect of the nervous system. The indirect effect is maybe on an organ system. So you might be thinking, oh my gosh, this sounds like really crazy. So let's make it really simple. Let's take lavender. You take lavender and you kind of crush it up and you smell it. It has an immediate effect on scent as far as taste and odor. Then the next thing that you notice, it has a calming effect on the body. Kind of calms the body down, makes it feel a little bit better. And then all of a sudden, there's a direct effect or what we call the indirect effect on the muscular system, which is an organ system. So now what it does is calms down the muscle tissue, actually reduces pain and inflammation, all from one particular plant. So it kind of gives you an idea on how that effect works. Those essential oils stay in the body for roughly about 6 to 14 hours. And so there's actually in the system for a long period of time. So we want to be cautious when we first start using them, make sure that we're using them a little bit easy, making sure that our bodies are kind of welcoming them gingerly, so to speak. All right, so what makes essential oils unique? So when we think about this, we got to think of a couple different things. First of all, they are volatile oils, which means like if you get them in a flame, they will ignite. So we don't want to use them over a flame or near open fires or things of that nature. We want to use them as directed, that how it talks about them on the bottle themselves. The other thing is they are highly concentrated. When we look at it, we look at lavender, it has over 220 pounds to make 7 pounds of the oil, and there's over 200 and some odd active constituents in lavender. It's super concentrated. And that kind of goes back to that whole thing of how we extract it. We want to make sure Now we're in a situation where we're using water or steam distillation process to extract it. All right, so now that we see that we actually have a direct effect of the volatile oils itself, then we also have a concentrated oil. The other thing is the uniqueness. Each plant grown in a different area has a little bit different chemical uniqueness to it. And so ultimately when we look at lavender again, lavender angustifolia that grows in France. Ultimately, what it does is it actually has all sorts of relaxing properties, a little bit of analgesic properties. Now we take lavender angustifolia and we grow it in the Spanish desert. We call it lavender spike. That particular product now all of a sudden is very high in different camphor type of oils, and it's great for pain, and it's not so great on relaxing the body. So they're very unique. Each and every single plant that you're going to get is going to have a little bit of different unique qualities. All right, you might be asking, well, how many essential oils are there? Well, there's roughly about 300 that are in use right now, but ultimately about 10 of them in your kitchen cabinet or in your medicine chest would do just about right getting you started. And we're going to go over that in part number 2. This is Starkey Sowers. Thanks for watching another Plus Program training series.